Greetings, Conscious Collab. Welcome back to the channel where we wake up to sleep and drop gems on everything from 9D down to 3D. Shout out to the ones bold enough to tell the stories. Remember, I'm not here to BS you. I'm only here to benefit you.
If y'all don't believe that reptilian shapeshifters are real, man, listen when I tell you, they more realer than you think. I remember my mother told me how she seen how one of her friends was a reptilian. And I remember when I came home from school one day and she looked at Spook, she was like, "Oh my God, son, you won't believe what I saw today." I'm like, "What happened?" She said, "I saw the devil." I said, "What you mean?" So one of her closest friends, right? And the crazy part about it, this dude knew the Bible like the back of his hand. I'm talking about off top, could quote so many scriptures to you word for word at that. But long story short, she said he came over to chill or whatever. They was kicking it, and she said when she gave him a hug before he left, she said she hugged him, right? Boom, and when she drew back, his whole face, she said in her words, was the devil's face. And she said she did one of these. And she said when she did like that he went like this, and she could see his face slowly changing back to normal. And then he left. But it wasn't the devil that my mother saw. It was a reptilian who shapeshifts. And when I tell you, this man was like the coolest killer because he was known for catching bodies. My mother only dealt with street dudes. So, except for my pops, that's crazy. And she left him, but whatever. But yeah, my mother, she always dated street guys. And this dude was known for laying dudes down. But it's weird because he was a good dude. Like, he was mad cool. And he was extremely protective of my mother. Like, he didn't play. To this day, like, if my mother was to call him and she's in trouble, he's popping out. He don't care. He gonna protect my mother. You know? Just, I don't know, man. I'm just letting y'all know. Shapeshifters is real.
So Usher Raymond is now another celebrity who is infected with the Vril. I would love to hear if you guys can see it in the pictures as well, or if it's something that only I could see. Because for the longest time, it really was only something I could see, and I didn't know how to identify this creature, this baby lizard thing that I see in celebrities when I do soul readings of them. So if you guys are new here and you have no idea what the Vril is basically a baby alien that comes from the underground. These are baby reptilians that will infect and implant themselves in a human vessel to basically take over their body and have full control over the human vessel. I see this quite often in celebrities that are A-list celebrities, people like Ariana Grande. I've seen this quite a few times. I've also seen this once in my waking life with somebody that I knew, but there was a reason this person got infected with the Vril. They don't pick just random people. These are people that have a lot of influence, political influence, or they're celebrities, or they have a lot of power, okay? That is who these Vril alien species will go after. Usually when somebody has been infected with the Vril, they will have a black and blue eye, and it's known, okay? You guys could see the people in the Vatican. It's known.
Look at Katy Perry next. This is not normal. No, this is not normal.
Katie showed her fellow judges and all of America that she's able to puff out her neck like a frog.
Yeah. Touch it.
Everything seems pretty normal up until this point. You'll see some pictures here in a moment, but then about here, things get a little strange. So now we're going to go through a series of pictures where you see the little girl have a range of emotions, and then right about here she sees something wrong as he pulls away. What does she see? Well, we're all about to see it for ourselves as he stands up and looks at the camera right here. What's weird is somehow the guy holding the microphone misses this part, but here very soon he's going to notice something that is amiss. I think that'll be right about here. And he looks a little... I think that'll be right about here. And he looks a little disturbed. After seeing this, he quickly walks away, and then acts like nothing ever happened. Look at his face. Yikes. You also see a couple of Elvis's men seeing everything as it happens. One of them steps in front of the camera. The other man goes directly for the eye that was just melting. Here we go again, in real time. See Elvis's guy step in front of the camera right here. Then the other guy goes right for the eye.
There's footage of a cat turning into a human. First off, look how this cat flies off. It literally flies off. And this is the slow transformation after the guy rolled out of the car. Super weird. Many people are saying this is a skinwalker because they can shapeshift. Others are saying it's a djinn. A djinn is basically like an evil genie that can also shapeshift. And then of course, because of the quality, everybody's saying it's also bad Photoshop. Whether any of that is true or not, this is still a creepy and very well done video. It really makes you wonder what is out there. Do me a favor, keep an eye on your pets tonight, especially your cats, see if they shapeshift, let me know. I'm pretty sure my cat's a shapeshifter. I wake up and all the furniture's rearranged. Let me know what you guys think about this video in the comment section.
I have another story, and I hope I don't get violated for community guidelines because it keeps happening to me. TikTok is like, I don't know, being really censored right now, but I'm gonna tell you a story of my experience of meeting a reptilian. All right, so I was in my old apartment and I was taking a nap on my couch, and I was just about to doze off to sleep, and I hear someone bend down and whisper into my ear, "Wake up." So it was very frightening. So I immediately jumped up out of the couch, and what I saw in front of me was a reptilian. A Draco, like a warrior reptilian, and he came in riding some sort of weird animal, like a dragon or some type of beast. And he came across as being very intimidating, grinning, laughing, and trying to scare me. And it did scare the shit out of me, actually, I'm not gonna lie. And I told him to leave. And later on, I came across some information about reptilians and how that's typically how they greet people. That's kind of how they do things. They're very like warrior mentality, and so they're intimidating. But it's almost like they want to see how you react, and if you don't succumb to the fear and you also greet them with the same energy, they respect you. They actually respect you and end up kind of toning it down a bit.
There's 3 ways to spot a reptilian shapeshifter. Number 1, if the person has an overall lack of showing emotions, authentic emotions, then you could be talking to a shapeshifter. Reptilians don't really feel empathy like we feel empathy. They can fake it, but it's see-through, especially to us chosen ones that see through the BS. Number 2, if they're in a white body, a body that contains less melanin/carbon, that's the human form a reptilian is gonna take. Reptilians don't have the power to hold a darker colored complexion. A lot of them can barely hold human form. Number 3, if their eyes can get like a slit or just overall look like this at times, or if their skin can have a scaly complexion in certain areas that just doesn't look right, it could be a shapeshifter. Now, I'm not saying it's a shapeshifter for sure, but these are characteristics of a reptilian shapeshifter.
This is a weird one to talk about, right? Anybody ever notice that it's a lot of people dying every day? And at least in my city, I haven't seen them build a graveyard in over 40 years. So I thought about it, right? What if we're a food source for somebody? Hear me out. I believe in reptilians and aliens, so let's put it out there. What if when we die, they just transfer our body somewhere else? Put a whole wax figure, a clone of us in the casket. But then it's still confusing because where are all the bodies going? Because I know this many people aren't being cremated. So in your area, have you seen a graveyard or cemetery being built in the past 40 years? 'Cause I have.
Time. I don't ask for the truth because I know you'll lie. I swear, time and time. I don't ask for the truth because I know you'll lie. Hey.
I woke up. A reptilian came into the room. We went to an underground cave. There was a group of reptilians there, and they stood around me in a circle. Each one of them put one hand on my body, and I slowly changed. And it was the most amazing, but also sort of bizarre situation to look down at your body and see it morph from your human form into a reptilian form. To see the skin shift from being smooth into scales. And to find that I had a tail.
Could Charmaine's incredible story be true? Was she really transformed into a reptilian human hybrid? Charmaine claims she learned from her abductors that all humans today are byproducts of alien genetic manipulation. Some more than others.
At certain points in our history, different ET races have come to this planet, and they have not manipulated all of humanity, but certain groups.
So I want to tell y'all about my first time encountering extraterrestrials. I should have got a picture of them, but my first encounter, I was 3 years old. I was living in California, which I'm from California, so I was living in California. I want to say we was right on the edge of Parkchester Village, and it was me, my mom, and her husband, who she actually married to now, which is my brother's daddy. That's how I know I was 3, because it was right before she got pregnant. My brother was born in 94. I was born in 90. He was born some months after, 9 months after, whatever you want to say. But so one night we was in our apartment. Our apartment had windows, up at the top. They was probably about 10 feet off the ground. They had a little rectangle window. And so I'm in the living room watching TV, and I hear my mom and them back there wrestling and shit. So me being nosy, I get up to go see what they doing, and I walk in the room, and the bed is up under the window, and I walk in the room, and I'm in the doorway, and I look at them to see what they was doing. They was wrestling, and then all of a sudden my eyes shot up to the window. When I look at the window, I see 3 extraterrestrials. I see 3 aliens standing in the window. Mind you, I said the window is about 10 feet off the ground. So I see 3 of them standing there. They was glowing. It was crazy. They was glowing. Over the years, I did a lot of research on extraterrestrials, because I tell people about it all the time. So I was trying to figure out what they were. And so with the research that I did, I found out that they call them the gray whites, the gray whites, which is about 10 feet tall or whatever. But they had a slim head, kind of like mine, right here. But they had a slim head, big black eyes. It was 3 of them. So my brother Daddy, he see me staring because I'm in shock. I'm just stuck in the doorway, and he was like, "What's wrong?" And he jumped up and he ran over there to where I was, and he turned around and he looked up at the window. He see him, and he runs out the apartment. He was a big dude. I'm talking about big. I'm talking about dude was huge, muscular wise. You feel me? I don't know if he thought he was gonna go out there and deal with him, but he ran out there. And when he ran out there, he made it to the back to where the window is, and they was gone. And ever since that day, I talk about this. I had multiple more encounters, just not up close. I had seen UFOs and everything, but I wish I could get my mama to talk about it. She don't really like talking about it. When I do talk about it, she tell me to be quiet. They don't want us talking about that. And I'm gonna try one of these days if I can. I try to get her on camera talking about it, But over the years, I talked to people about it, and they thought I was lying. But every now and then, I get my mama to confirm what we seen, so people know I'm not crazy and I ain't just talking shit. I ain't trying to impress nobody. I just tell people my life experiences and my truth. But that's the first time I seen them.
An Instagram account captured what appears to be Till Lindemann from Ramstein shape-shifting his eyes into a reptilian form. I first saw this in Contactable Album 1. This is the video. So in this video, you can actually see him, you can see normal eyes, and then here you go, right? So I thought that this could be fake. I mean, like, not from the original video. So I went over to the original video in the concert in Paris, 2017. Indeed, you can find this in 30 minutes and 22 seconds. Well, I'm gonna play the original video, and you guys tell me what you think. Let's take a look at the original video. Right now. So pay attention, you got his eyes pretty normal, right? And then, boom, what the heck? I'm gonna zoom in and replay the video. Pay very close attention. What is going on here, guys? Look at that. Oh my gosh. I want to know your thoughts. Is this the real deal, or is it maybe fake, CGI? You tell me.
tell you about a couple experiences I've had with shapeshifters. My encounters were definitely negative, and I believe that it did have to do with a demonic presence. A shapeshifter is an entity that's able to manipulate the energy around them and turn into different things. I wasn't sure if I believed in them until I had a really creepy encounter at my sister's house. She used to live in this condo that was super haunted. She had episodes of sleep paralysis and would see things constantly. I was sleeping on her couch one night and I looked in the corner. I saw this little black blob moving on the floor, then turned into a small child. It looked like it was kind of like a shadow, and then it formed into this woman that just didn't look right. She had super long black hair and started crawling underneath a coffee table. I then told my sister about this experience and her face turned white. She then told me that every morning when she was leaving for work, she got this image of a lady with long hair crawling and chasing her out the door. She thought it was just her mind playing tricks on her until I told her about my experience. Another time is when my friends and I went to the super haunted escape room. They had a lot of documented poltergeist type activity and encountered something that they called a trickster spirit that they all nicknamed Trixie. Instantly, I saw this weird shadow person sitting on top of this prop RV that they had. It was sitting like this. At first, I wasn't sure exactly what it was. It was either a poltergeist, some demonic entity, or a shapeshifter. We then experienced it shape-shifting, turning into different people. It would be a woman, and then it would be a child, and then it would be a man. And I didn't know this, but when my friend first walked in, her device said shapeshifter. I didn't realize how powerful these entities were until this experience. And this thing likes to play games. The full video of this experience is on my channel, link in bio.
Alright, so I was really debating about whether or not I should actually share this particular experience. I have only told a handful of people this story about when I was visited by the Greys, and this was over a year ago. A little bit of backstory, okay? I have always believed in extraterrestrials, even as a child. I was always extremely open-minded about all of this. I went on Amazon and I thought it would be funny to buy an alien baby doll. That was a Grey. So I bought this doll off of Amazon and I named her Amaya. My close friends know this story. I literally took this doll with me everywhere, you guys. Like, I had her in the passenger seat when I was driving. I would take her everywhere. She would be like laying in my bed at night. I just freaking loved this alien doll because I thought she was so cute. Put clothes on her. There will be a part 2 to where I actually show you this doll because it's been in my closet ever since. Alright, so this one night I was actually laying down about to go to sleep, and as I was falling asleep, I started to feel a little uncomfortable, and I almost felt like I was about to start lucid dreaming. And I kept seeing this giant wheel, and the only way that I can describe it is if you guys have seen that, it's called CERN. If you guys haven't looked into it, just look at it, and it kind of looks like a portal, and it's got like lights around it. That's what I was seeing, but it wasn't white lights, they were like yellow lights, and it was like circles inside of circles, and it just kept spinning. And it kept spinning to the point to where I got even more uncomfortable, and I was trying to kind of shake myself fully awake, and I wasn't sleeping. It's like I was kind of in this in-between, like I can't really describe it. And so when I finally opened my eyes, my room looked normal, but there was a Grey standing at the edge of my bed, like at the foot of my bed. And I wish I could really describe this state that I was in, because it was almost like it was an astral plane, but it wasn't. It was extremely real. That's just how it felt. And I was just screaming. I was like, oh my God, like I need to call my friend. There's a freaking alien in my room. And I call her and I'm freaking out. And he's just like staring at me. And then I see a smaller Grey kind of on the side of my bed. It looked like a child, kind of had its hands like propped up on my mattress, you know, like big eyes, whatever. And so the alien starts to freak out, and then he runs and puts something on my dresser and then runs through the wall, through the fucking wall, you guys. I look at my dresser to see what he put down, and it was like this statue, a statue of 2 hands holding each other, like holding hands, and it had words on it, and I know it had something to do with hybrid children. And so I turn around, and there are these 2 people standing in my room, and they came to me because apparently I was supposed to heal them or something, and I was all types of confused, y'all. These 2 very humanoid looking beings, but they weren't fully human. It's like they were both hybrid. I'll finish this story in part 2.
Urshad Jamal on how reptilians can shapeshift.
So these draconian reptilians understanding this science, this basic metaphysics 101. All right? They just bend the light photon and they're able to change their vibration. So if they raise their vibration, all right, to match the frequency of whatever they want to shift to, so whatever they looked at or focused their retinas on, then they'll be able to shift to that by raising their frequency of their vibration. They don't change at all. These reptilians don't change at all. They're just holding a frequency, a vibration. And they're holding the vibration of whatever being they saw that they want to shift to. So this is how they're able to move amongst you as everyday white people and human beings and shit, but they are not. They're just holding a frequency. And some of them, when they start to lower their vibration, that's how people didn't catch them on camera shifting sometimes. Or catch their eyes slitting and flipping because it's just a vibration. It's an image. Understand, this is just matter. This shit is matter. That's why it's mind over matter. You alter this shit with your thoughts. You control this shit with your thoughts. That's why it's mind over matter. What is matter? Got 4 phases. Plasma energy being the highest. Gases, liquids, solids being the lowest. Aren't you solid? Isn't this solid? Yes. So the slowest vibration, the slowest form of matter is a solid. Why is it the lowest form of matter? Because it's vibrating the slowest.
So this is my encounter with a reptilian. So much fun. So I was living in Long Beach, California with my cousin, and we had a grow operation. We were growing some cannabis. And I had friends from Dallas who wanted to come and stay with us. So I was like, that's fine. You know, you're trying to get your bearings. You've never been to LA before. You can stay with us. So just for the sake of not defaming anyone's character, these 2 people are going to be Andrew and Tom. Okay? So Andrew was a photographer and Tom was a model, and they were a gay couple. So they drove out from Dallas to Long Beach, and then, you know, we were able to receive them at our place. And they basically just asked, you know, like, hey, do you guys need anything? And we were like what? And they were like, well, we have all this stuff, you know, all this decor. Maybe we could, like, you know, decorate your place as like an exchange for place to stay. And so my cousin, you know, he was with it. I was with it. You know, they had a lot of really cool stuff. So we're like, sure, that's fine. So we all had a good time. We were hanging out and stuff. And then Andrew, he would cook these foil meals all the time. And I love me a good foil meal. Don't come for me about cooking in aluminum because I already fucking know. But we had a fire pit out in the backyard. And then we would put like salmon and onions, garlic, cilantro, different marinades and stuff, and like close it all up and put it over the fire. And it was bomb. And we would just, you know, smoke, drink, talk, have a good time. Like, it seemed like this could go on for a while. Here's where the problem started. So me and my cousin have always had a pretty good relationship, but all of a sudden we just started bickering out of nowhere. Like, it was, I don't know what the problem was, but we started having issues. Then Andrew and Tom started like distancing themselves from me. They weren't talking to me anymore. They were hanging out with my cousin all the time. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, what did I do? Little did I know that this is like the way that an encounter with a reptilian typically goes. So me and my cousin aren't talking at all. Me and Andrew and Tom aren't talking at all. So I'm just trying to figure out life. I have really bad anxiety. And I was just like, you know, this isn't going to work anymore. What are we going to do? So my cousin actually comes to me and he was like, something weird happened last night. And we haven't talked in like a couple of weeks. And I was like, what happened? And he said, Andrew was standing over Tom in the middle of the night. And he was like holding both hands out to the sides. And he was like moving over him. And Tom was crying. And he walked out and was like, Andrew, what the fuck are you doing? And he was like, oh, he's having a panic attack. So I'm helping. And I'm out of time, so I'm going to have to do a part 2. Sorry. Okay, here's part 2. Sorry, I hate doing part 2s, but this is long. So we left off at basically Andrew is doing this weird movement over Tom.
and he was curled up completely in a fetal position, my cousin said. And Andrew's back was like just mad hunched over, and he said it almost looked ridged. So he was like, they need to go. And I was like, definitely. And he was like, well, you got him in here so you can get him the fuck out. And I was like, say less, because I felt like those were your homies and you didn't like want them to go. He was like, nah, bitch, get them out of here. So I was like, bet. So I told Andrew, I said, you know, this isn't working out anymore. You guys are going to have to find somewhere else to be. Please be out by the end of the day. And so they pretty much like got themselves situated. And he was sitting, I had a futon in the living room that I would sleep on. And he was sitting on it waiting for, you know, I guess confirmation from their ride. And I'm not really sure where Tom was at this point, but it was just Andrew sitting in the living room. And I had a couple of friends over. I can give you their actual names. It was Sydney and this girl named Ty. And I was making spaghetti on the stove, but my back was like to Andrew. And Ty was standing on the left side of me and Sydney was standing on my right. So I just so happened to turn back and look at Andrew. I don't know what made me look, but then the sun was coming in through a window. Like it was kind of overcast that day, and then the sun shone through the window right at the moment that I turned around. Y'all, why did I see this man's face change? First, the bridge of his nose got all ridged up, and then it was like really big right here, and then his bottom jaw jutted out, and then his teeth went up, and it was just like do, 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 do. And then it went back. I decided not to freak out because I've seen like paranormal stuff and supernatural shit like since I was a kid. So, and I was like, if I freak out, then I'm gonna blow the cover. So I basically tell Sydney and Ty, I was like, hey yo, like while this continues to cook, let's walk down the street and get some cigarillos real quick so we can swim. So we're walking down the street, and I said, I don't want to freak y'all out, but like, I have to tell you something. Sydney stops me and says, his face. I was like, you saw it? And she said, girl, his shit said, do, 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 boom, boom. I was like, yo, like, if you hadn't seen this, and I didn't say shit to her. She like just confirmed it. She took the words out my mouth, and Ty was standing there looking scared. I was like, bruh, this is crazy. And so basically, you know, we get back to that, and I have to do a part 3. Fuck, but stay tuned because it's not over. Part 3, hopefully this works because I've tried this at least 3 times now and they're trying to silence me. Okay, so we get back to the house after we talk, you know, as we're walking down the street, and Sydney says, I saw him, and I'm like, bruh. So we get back to the house. Luckily, there are people come and pick them up like within maybe 10-15 minutes, and we just have to kind of like act normal. And then that night, this is TM. I took the biggest shit of my life. It felt like I was passing an egg. Like, it felt like it was passing through, like, hi baby, through my whole, through the whole intestinal system, and then it was coming out. It was like, it felt oblong and huge, like an egg. The craziest part about this is that the next morning, you know, it felt like a weight had been lifted, literally. But also my cousin, he comes to me later on and he's just like, bitch, why did I take the craziest shit of my life last night? I was like, me too. So I came up with a theory. Basically, reptilians, if you know anything about reptiles, they have to create an environment that is safe and familiar for them. If you've owned reptiles before, you know, with a snake or a lizard, you have to basically get the right lighting. You have to put the right wood and the right substrate, whether it be sand or bark or astroturf or whatever. So the fact that they wanted to put their belongings in the house and like basically decorate, they were staging their environment to make sure that they were comfortable first. Then Andrew started feeding us everything, and it was just like, that's the way that they seed you. So they have to give you something to consume in order to seed your body or your vessel with their energy and their intent. Finally, they have to basically create turmoil because they feed on that shit, negative energy, trauma, me and my cousin were literally like going at it, and like that just was not regular. So once we became privy to what kind of was going on and we got rid of them, the seeding was removed. It was like we were able to flush it out of our systems, hence the big shits, the big egg shit. And I can't believe I'm down to 30 seconds already, but I just wanted to post this. You don't have to believe it. I only believe it really because my friend saw it too. Otherwise, I probably would have thought I was tripping. But I just wanted to post this again for awareness. And they also have physical traits that you can recognize. Fucked up teeth. That's the first thing. They're going to have not just regular fucked up teeth, but fucked up, really skinny, and usually a hunchback. And I'm trying not to make a part 4, so I got to end it here.
I had studied their physical makeup, their physiology, and one of the things that showed up in the Draco was the fact the only soft place they had in their body is the upper palate of their mouth. Wow. So I figured if I had to kill one, I had to put a vibro knife up inside the palate of the mouth and turn it on until it rattled like a trash can.
That's wow. God damn, man.
And that's how I actually got injured. There's a little thing here on my arm where the vein never quite healed right. That's actually because one of the teeth went through my arm in that particular incident.
God damn. And how big was this Draco?
13 feet tall-ish.
Motherfucker. Was it a white Draco?
Yeah, Prince, yeah.
Motherfucker. God damn. Well, kudos to you, Johan Prince.
Their hands there.
God damn. Go ahead.
And that's also why the Queen had given me a nickname. She called me the Ravager. And that, by the way, when a Queen...
Reptilians in plain sight in the 90s commercial wake-up
Daddy out of the room. I gotta get you up on this. You know who I am. Snake, dealing in weed, coke. Your choice. Take one hit and you'll do anything to cop more. Steal from your mama. Cheat on your homeboys. But hey, that's the price you pay when you deal with dudes like me. Now, some folks will tell you that I'm dealing in poison. But hey, do I look like the kind of guy that would do that to a kid like you? Yes.
Was Mike trying to tell us something about shape-shifting? I was a huge Michael Jackson fan. But something seems odd. You'll see what I mean. Watch till the end. You be the judge. At the end of this clip, it's revealed that the black cat is actually Michael Jackson. In this next clip, you will see him change from green and back.
Bravo.
Next, we'll notice his eyes look like reptilian eyes, not a zombie or a werewolf. And again, in this scene, he'll go from human back to green. I guess zombies can be any color, but green is the most noticeable color. Reptilian eyes. Mike says he doesn't write his own songs. I understand that some people give credit to a higher being for their talents, but watch until the end.
I'm just a source. I'm just a tunnel, a tube through which they come. I feel somewhere in space they've all been written before. I mean, Billie Jean and Beat It and all those songs have been up there somewhere. It just came through to me. That's how I really feel. So I even though I did it, I just can't always take credit. It's like any great artist, I guess. Leonardo da Vinci. I mean, be doing it, but it's some other higher force that's making it happen.
Maybe that's who we see in the next clip doing the moonwalk. Yes, the film is grainy, but just pay attention to his entire body. He seems to get bigger and turn green. In particular, watch his neck and his eyes start to bulge. Check it out. After watching this video hundreds of times, it's still hard for me to admit that Mike could have been a shapeshifter. I'll admit I am a little suspect. Look at his eyes, and that neck is a little bit long. You, be the judge.